Everybody, welcome to the Homestead. Zach again here, and with Papa Pepper from Steemit. This guy's got it's probably the largest homestead channel on Steemit.com, and he's been around there a long time, has a lot of experience, and he's been showcasing a lot of knowledge when it comes to homesteading. And he just got a homestead, 8 acres?
Yeah, just about 8 acres. Finally bought our land, so been observing it, checking it out, working on it for a while now, but we finally actually purchased it. Now we're moving forward with setting up our house and our homestead.
Very exciting times. And so I know a lot of our viewers are all waiting for the day when they can be like you and have that land and begin building on it. And so very exciting times for this guy. And he's basically, you know, how we've said on our channel over and over is that you learn homesteading before you actually begin homesteading. And that's what he's been doing. He's been doing that. And so he's acquired a lot of knowledge, and he's sharing that knowledge with a lot of people, and it's made him very popular online. So what I want to do is just kind of talk about, you know, why you got into homesteading. You know, what's the goal for you and your family? Because this is not normal for people, for a lot of people. And they look at the homesteaders and they're just like, you know, what is it that makes you tick? So Papa Pepper, what makes you tick?
Okay, well, first off, I'd like to start by saying, you know, I'm not an expert in this. As he said, I just bought my land now. I've been doing a lot of research, gaining a lot of skills, and really a lot of my stuff is just documenting what I am learning and what I am applying and what I'm preparing for. Now, when we look at the homesteading lifestyle, what I'm looking for is a way to have stewardship over a portion of this earth and be able with my family to interact with each other and with the world around us from that kind of base camp. We recently, you know, a year and a half ago, moved from Wisconsin to Arkansas. Before that, I worked in a warehouse. I'd leave my family in the morning, go to work, come home later in the afternoon. My wife was at home with the kids, and we realized for multiple reasons that perhaps we wanted to go a different route. One of the reasons is that I believe there's been an attack on the family, and I believe that the family unit is the unit we're placed in. You know, there's going to be a man and a woman to have these babies, and it's a family. And to have a strong society, you know, you need strong families, because if the whole isn't made up of strong, you know, pieces, it's going to fall apart. So I think what happened some time ago was that people shifted away from an agrarian lifestyle, and they became, when they weren't self-dependent, they became really dependent upon others, where it's almost like a slavery type mentality. The Industrial Revolution pulled the men out of the homes, lured people away from their land to the cities. Then you had the government schools take the children out of the home, and after that the women's right movement took the women out of the home. So everyone buys these houses that are empty for most of the day, that they buy for debt, so they pay, you know, 2 or 3 times as much to get them, and they spend all life separated, and that's the families these days, and it's not what I wanted.
Exactly, it's not what we wanted either. And so it's one of the things we love the most about living as a family out here on a homestead. And judging from the emails and the comments I get from you guys, it's what you want too, because you see the value in that. The majority of you do. And so it's really cool to see someone else doing that and seeing that as his focus and his goals. So you got this land. What's next? Where are you at now?
At this second, me and my dad, we cleared some space for a driveway and a house site. We'll put in a culvert, grind the stumps, put in the driveway, and then begin to actually build our house in the hopefully very near future. And actually, thanks to Steemit, I have the funds to actually build my house, which is huge because I wasn't sure how I was going to get from this idea in my head to living it out in reality. And you know, work hard all day, every day, trying to make money with other jobs. And while I've been doing that, you know, Steemit has been creeping along, providing for us. So it's actually worked out very well.
Tell me, like, what are some of the posts that you've made on Steemit that have, you know, garnered you the most attention?
I think ever since I started, you know, I began to put out at least often 3 or 4 times a day. I was trying to put out a high quality post, you know, but kind of diversifying it. So anywhere you kind of looked, you'd see something from me, and it'd be consistently good quality. And also mixing up with a lot of people, spending a lot of time commenting and stuff like that, that eventually, I mean, up until recently, the highest paying post I ever had paid out at $900 and some, and it was a birth announcement. I mean, you know, does that mean
congratulations?
Does that mean Papa Pepper should, you know, switch from everything else he does and write birth announcement on Steemit? Well, no. What it was the entire community celebrating with me that we just had our 5th child, and you know, shared some of the story of that, and there were some complications, and you know, eventually we kind of took things into our own hands a bit because we didn't like the way it was going per se at the hospital. I mean, we've had children in our living room before, home water birth, midwife assisted. That was beautiful. And they pretty much wanted my wife to be in the bed, laboring. And she says, I'm not going to be strapped to some bed. You know, I need to actively labor. I don't want to let this thing slow down. We need to, you know, work on this, let my body prepare for this child and get the child out. So when there was only one nurse in the room, me and my wife were kind of holding on to each other, and she was kind of squatting. And without saying anything, I knew what she was going to do. She knew what she was going to do. And she just kind of birthed the child there, standing in the squatting position, and I caught it. And the nurse, of course, freaked out. The doctor came in and says, "Oh, who's going to cut the cord?" I said, "Well, I got my hands full." So my wife cut the cord, and you know, we kind of took control of that a little bit ourselves. So.
Well, that would garner a lot of attention on Steemit if you post a story like that. I mean, that's great. That's great. So I see a lot of your posts, and you have a way with animals. It seems like. I mean, what is that about?
Well, you know, I've always loved creation. I've loved the creatures. I've loved just being part of this world and interacting with all that it has to offer. So a lot of my stuff is, you know, foraging and gardening and propagating and stuff like that with plants. But animals, I mean, when I grew up, a lot of my life was spent in the woods behind my parents' house, down by the stream and stuff, just interacting with whatever I could find with the different bugs and stuff. And as I grew up, a lot of our summers we'd go camping a lot. So a lot of my summers I'd be actually gone camping more than home. So I'm out at lakes and streams and rivers. I'm out in the woods, and whether it was turtles or snakes or anything, most of them don't pose much of a threat, especially up in Wisconsin. So my parents were cool with me as a child, you know, interacting with the stuff, and it's just the way I've grown up. And also, like, if you notice, I do pretty well on Steemit, and a lot of it is kind of towards just that interacting with animals. Now, I love animals, but I don't want to go spend the rest of my life at some zoo. You know, I don't want to sit there and, you know, be a DNR officer or somebody, you know, policing people as they interact with animals in the wild. All that stuff you got to leave home to do. Now I've actually got an opportunity to share my, you know, passion and my, what I love about the animals, you know, from my own home, from my own property, and let people really experience that through me, which a lot of people, you know, have. And even venomous snakes, you know. Lately I've been messing around with those more. I've never met venomous snakes before, like a year ago when I moved to Arkansas.
He was holding a pygmy rattlesnake the other day. And those are pretty deadly. I mean, they can, but he was holding it. The proof was in the picture.
Yeah. So, knowing snakes in general, you know, it's easy to kind of move. Just don't let this one bite you.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So he has a lot of great videos for beginners on his page. You did a series for beginners.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot tell you how much that helped me. And that's one of the reasons I told my audience the other day. Actually, I was sitting right in front of this tractor filming that video, and I referenced them to go find your page because of that series of videos. It really does help a beginner learn to see what Steemit is about, how to get interactive with the community, and how to not interact with the community in ways that might not be beneficial. And just so, is there? I mean, I guess as Steemit begins to evolve, and you know, we go through hard forks. That's the upgrades that it goes through. You know,
hopefully upgrades.
Yeah, hopefully upgrades. I'm hoping that they're going to give a way for you to like take those and stick them somewhere where they're going to be easily found because they really are helpful. Can you tell people about that a little bit? Just those videos.
And it is hard for me just to sit there in my comment section every post, you know, link 18 videos or something like that. But Susie's Corner saw that I was doing more videos, and she said, "Hey, could you maybe do some videos on advice to newbies?" And I'm like, wow, there's no way I can cover that and have it be digestible in just a session. So I broke it down into about 5 to 15 minutes. I was aiming for about just 10-minute bites where I focused on a certain topic and shared with the newer users how to do things. Because a lot of people show up and they say, "Hey, here I am. I'm putting out great content. Why am I not getting paid?" And first of all, nobody knows you're there. You've got to kind of build yourself up, let people know you're there, and the content kind of has to be there or you're never going to do good. But there's going to be a lot of good content that falls by the wayside too. So I'll try to find ways to make them more accessible because I know a lot of people have said that to me. They said that's been so beneficial, so helpful. I learned so much from you. Thank you so much. You know, this should be somewhere where people can find it, and you know, that's what they say.
What I'll do is I'll link a link to that post where he's got all those videos in there below this video, so you can find it in the description. And then, you know, I guess, what's the name of the post that has all those videos in it?
It's pretty much 5 minutes. I forget what it is, but I've tried to give all the advice I can give in 5 minutes, and then link all the rest of the posts there too. Because when people show up, you know, they don't have a clue, and neither did I. I've said before, you know, I'm pretty much technological roadkill. I have no experience online really, other than watching YouTube videos, checking Craigslist, maybe using MapQuest, and I've answered a couple emails as of a year ago. Steemit came out, I came in, computers were pretty much a typewriter with a screen, and I've had to learn everything and, worked very hard to get where I am today. So anything I can pass on is stuff I've learned recently.
So, I mean, anyone can do this. I mean, if you apply yourself, learn. It's all about education, self-education. I would highly recommend finding his page on Steemit and searching through his posts to find those videos, because I think you'll benefit a lot from them. So, hey guys, listen, I really appreciate it. We're going to keep this video sort of short. We'll have some other things we just did up the hill together, so go over to his page to see that on Steemit. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, guys. Hey, listen, if you enjoyed this video, check out this list of amazing folks. These are patrons. They make all of our videos possible. We couldn't do what we do here on the Homestead without them. For more information, you can go to patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead to see all the benefits. Other than that, be sure to like, subscribe, share us on Facebook, and wherever else you find us. Go check us out on Steemit. Steemit. And check out the videos on the left. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on An American Homestead.
All right, pop out.